many, classical Indian raga music and art are two different things. But for Kartik Trivedi, they are inseparable, one and the same, as he has explored with his very own unique sound and impressionistic paintings, all with the touch of his fingertips, on the piano keys and with a paintbrush. It is with great honor and pleasure that I present to you one of the most fascinating living legends from India, a master of the visual arts, a classical composer, and virtuoso of the piano. Welcome, Kartiv Trivedi.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you, where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I was born in a small village. The name of the village is called Lunsar, and my father was a village school headmaster. And my mother, Shri Shadama, knew how to sing folk tunes, folk songs of the region. And this Lunsar is located on the northwest of India. She taught me about the fundamentals of folk music and raga music also. And my father, Sri Lakshmi Shankar Nanji Bhai Trivedi, was a very fine, very nice watercolor painter. So I learned both of these things from my parents. And the natural surrounding was also very encouraging for an artist. There was a very fine lake nearby, and the shrine of Shri Mataji, as we call Shri Mother Divine. So I used to, my mom used to take me there, and I used to do a charcoal drawing. There was a I used a newspaper in the beginning as a drawing pad, because there were no drawing pads.
At what age did you start
I would think about 5 or 6 years of age. Actually, when I was 6 years old, I won a state level award. I was a number one painter. I was number one painter. And that was very big encouragement to me at that time. Yeah. And then as time goes by, my father got transferred from one place to another place, and that in a way allowed me to know the cultural aspects of different type, And I was very happy that I had the opportunity to meet these different types of people, study their music, their costumes, and it was very encouraging to me.
Did you have a piano at home?
No, I did not have a piano. I was introduced to a keyboard instrument when I was about 10 years old. We call a harmonium. Mm-hmm. It has the same keyboard as piano has, and but it sounds like an organ. Mm-hmm. So I was able to know the scale. The harmonium has very much the same as piano has, mm-hmm. Keys and the scale system, mm-hmm. and all that, 12 diatonic tone, octave, and all that. Mm-hmm. So that was. But when I came to America in 1967, I went to a school, Case Western Reserve University, Cleveland, Ohio, and we had a twin hall, a very fine, very beautiful, big student center, and on the second floor we had a Steinway grand piano. So at night I used to go there, and I used to practice, and I found lots of students, fellow students, interested, and they would all sit around piano, and they said, "Why don't you give a concert? We like your music so much." Prior to that, I had learned how to sing North Indian classical music, which I play. It is very much known as a Hindustani music. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how did you start incorporating the piano into these ragas and into that style of classical music?
Well, when I was in India, I used to play flute, as we call bansuri, mm-hmm. And I had learned how to sing classical music also. So I was also playing sarod. I learned a few years how to play sarod and the stroke patterns. And when one day I was experimenting with my understanding of sarod playing or singing or playing flute or all that, and I found that it is possible. It is very possible that someone can play raga music, complete form of a raga on piano. It is not totally impossible. In my days, we had about 3-4 young musicians interested, experimenting with the sound of piano. I like the sound of piano. I use second pedal to sustain the sound, and I use third pedal to elevate the sound. So elevate the sound sounds very much like a santoor, and of course like a sarod to a certain. It depends upon how you strike the note, and after you strike the note, one is expected to create some kind of an appropriate environment so that the entire raga would sound in a most appropriate way.
Amazing. Well, you're one of the few artists that has really been playing this type of music around the world. And Maestro Ravi Shankar was one of the first whom brought that music to the US.
Yes.
Are you in any way compared to him, or do people ask you questions about?
Well, let's say I have a lot and lots of respect for Maestro Pandit Ravi Shankarji, a very great composer and a very great sitar player. And another maestro, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib, who played sarod. So for a couple of times, for some time, I used to go to his music school, Ali Akbar College of Music, in San Rafael, California, because I was in Santa Clara. And when I was in Santa Clara, I went to San Jose State University for a master's degree in world music. So I used to go and study and talk with the maestro Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib, and then I would come back and work with my other music teachers, other professors, and eventually I received a master's degree from San Jose State University, San Jose, California, in world music. At that time, thank you. At that time, my piano was my main instrument. I have my own piano, which is German piano, and Schulz and Bauer's company, and it's about 115 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it still sounds good.
Very beautiful sound. I just love the sound. And in America, for some time, I played piano in Indian restaurants. And Friday, Saturday night, I would go there and play. My piano will be placed somewhere in the corner.
Amazing. Well, you've played in restaurants as well as in the Carnegie Hall. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I perform at Carnegie Recital Hall in New York City, and I perform in the first half. I open the concert. In the second half, my teacher, late Shri Vasant Rai, played sarod. So sarod, sound of sarod is always there when I play piano, because sound of sarod attracted me so much. And then I also performed at the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts.
No small feat.
And you would, I don't know, you may not believe this, but when I did a concert at the Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, the New York Times printed my photograph on a music page, and you know I have a very old bow tie. I love to wear that bow tie. I don't know. I have kept that. I don't know. My friends tell me that I look very funky, but I still like it.
An artist is an artist.
I just love that funky look. You know, I have a three-piece suit, which is now going four-piece, but that's all right.
An artist dresses as he must dress. Now I want to ask you about your paintings. Your art has been considered very impressionistic and beautiful. Now, what inspires you to paint that way?
Well, when I was in a high school, city of Gondal, Saurashtra, Gujarat state, at that time I had the opportunity to see the books on French Impressionism and American Impressionism. And from the very beginning, I like the colors, pastel colors, or a somewhat a different sense of composition, and at the same time, the brushstroke, choppy brushstrokes and all that, And colors were so fantastic, sunlight, analysis of sunlight or light in general. So I liked that, and I immediately started working in an impressionist style. And when I came to America, of course, I was stationed in Cleveland, Ohio, not too far away from my apartment. There's a very famous, great museum, the Cleveland Museum of Art, and that's where I saw the originals. Till 1967, I hadn't seen the originals, and then I used to lecture inside the museum for adult education. And I will take a group of 10, 20, 30 people, and we'll take them from one gallery to another gallery. And at that time I was studying to receive MA degree in art history from Case Western Reserve University. My first master's degree is in the area of economics and political history that I received from Gujarat State University, Gujarat, India. As we call Texas State, we have a Gujarat State, which is a very developed state culturally and economically. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then I just kept working, and then nearby Cleveland, Ohio, there is a city called Kent, Ohio, and lots of my friends, my students' friends, my fellow art historian friends, they all told me about Kent State, and I'd heard a lot. They have a nice art department, and I went there and I received MFA, Master of Fine Arts, in paintings from the Kent State University. At that time, I was almost a very fine, very nice impressionist painter. Yeah, and then I just continue to experiment in that particular style.
And what painters do you consider your most influential?
One which I would like to mention his name, Claude Monet.
Claude Monet.
Yeah, Claude Monet. I used to teach Claude Monet's paintings, and I taught art history classes, and then later on I taught art appreciation, and in art appreciation class we analyze, we talk about different styles of paintings: Cubism, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Renaissance, Baroque, and all that. Oh, thank you.
And in your own artwork, what subject is what you most paint of?
Well, let's see. My style of my paintings, one is impressionist, as we were talking about. The second one is a very native style, very decorative Indian style painting, I call it. And in 1960, when I was still in India, I think that is the year when I received my bachelor's degree in economics and geography. I like geographical things, so I thought all that I want to study geography. At that I won a national recognition. My work was highly appreciated. I won national recognition, and that in a way encouraged me. And then in 60s, I think I was working in a college near the seashore, Arabian Sea, open sea as well.
Do you incorporate mostly nature or religious motifs, portraits?
I do portraits, but mostly I call myself a landscape painter. I love landscape so much.
And speaking of portraits, I know of one very famous one that's hanging in Buckingham Palace.
I did. You see, my few friends from London, England, called me and they said that quite a few artists from all around the world have presented their paintings about a special occasion, the marriage of Lady Di and Prince Charles. And I wanted to do something, and I found some photographs, and I saw the entire wedding procession and all that. So I decided to do a special painting about the marriage procession for the Buckingham Palace. And I got a very, very nice response. In those days, they say, yeah, we will go to O'Hare Airport in London and we'll carefully bring your painting to the palace. And so it was very...
it's a great honor.
Yeah, and I think Prince Charles' secretary wrote me a very fine personal letter. And they said that we all love your work very much, and that in a way encouraged me to do a special painting for late President of France, President François Mitterrand, and he liked my work very much. And today, as I understand, painting has been sent to the National Cultural Heritage of France.
What a great honor.
Oh, thank you. I feel happy. I say, voila.
Voila.
Voila. Very good, great. Yeah.
Amazing.
And, but muchas gracias, as I call them. Eternally thankful.
Merci. I understand that your paintings are also in the house of the late President Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
And also with Bill Clinton,
yes,
among many others.
Yes. Yes, actually, yeah, that's true. I did a special painting for a late President Ronald Reagan. That was about, the subject is called Welcome Home. When the 52 hostages came back from Iran, there was a very big procession. In the back you see the Senate building, Congressional building in Washington DC, and there was so much happiness everywhere. So I studied a couple of photographs and then did a special painting. That President Ronald Reagan liked it, and Nancy Reagan also liked that very much. And recently somebody told me that two of my paintings, the other one was called Spring Melody, both the paintings had a impressionistic touch. And the lady called me from California and said that my paintings were put on display at a presidential library in California, which is near somewhere, Los Angeles area.
Amazing.
So yeah, she said, oh my God, I don't believe that, because she collects my painting. Her name is Janet. So she called, I said, thank you, I'm so happy. I'm feeling so happy. A poor artist like me can do little good things in this world.
You're an amazing artist.
Thank you. And President Bill Clinton's painting was Autumn in Chicago. I think that event was also very well covered by CNN News company.
Did you get to present the painting personally?
Let's say which President Bill Clinton. Yeah, I met him personally. Yeah, wonderful. I met him. There is a book written about me, and it's called Kartiv Trivedi, The Contemporary Impressionist. That is the title. That was printed in New York City, and this was many years ago. So I presented him the book, and we took a photograph, and he was very kind, and he said, well, I will carry the book. So he was carrying the book with him, and he also wrote me a very nice thanks letter I,
A very nice honor again.
Yeah, I feel very happy. I thank him and thank everybody, those who arranged it. And the painting, I think they said they like it. And then I had done another painting about ticker tape parade.
Well, tell us about that one. We're going to take a little break so that we can come back with that. Hold that one, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, second painting for President Bill Clinton and Lady Clinton. That was about ticker tape parade. Ticker tape parade in New York City. Wasn't that when I think the American Army came back from let's say from where? From Saddam Hussein's country. Am I right?
From Iraq.
Desert Storm.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big ticker tape parade. And so you remind me because I might be talking Damascus. I said, no, it's not Damascus. Man, get lost. So,
very nice. So
yeah, whenever everybody's ready, I'm ready. Okay.
We're ready.
Yeah.
We are rolling, but this is good.
Thank you. You see, the second painting which I did for President Bill Clinton and Lady Clinton was a ticker tape parade in New York City. When American Army came back from Iraq, there was a very fantastic, very wonderful parade. And I attended that and did some drawings, and there were so many very fine, very big size American flags hanging everywhere. That was a very, very wonderful subject for a painter like me, and other people also have painted this subject. And then I did that, and they like it, and that was also added in a presidential art collection at the White House. These are some of the things that I like. You see, when I did, this is so funny. When I did my first painting for President Ronald Reagan, he was a very kind person to me, and he used to write a letter, and I used to read, and postman will come all the way on the second floor of my apartment. He will knock on the door and say, Mr. Trivedi, open the door, I got something for you. I said, oh my God, I don't know what that could be. But he said, Mr. President has written you a personal letter. And so I would say, well, please, I have a can of soda. And so he was always so happy having a can of soda. And but you see, before President Reagan wrote me a letter, there was always a question. Everybody used to ask me, is there anybody who knows you? And my Indian background taught me one thing, my God knows me, but it wasn't helping me at all. So I had a couple of Xerox copies of that letter, and I said, yeah, Mr. President knows me. So they said, all right, sit down, have a tea or coffee. So it was a very, 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 very interesting thing. And I said, well, certainly I would do another painting. And this painting was done when I used to live in Santa Clara, California. And I took a painting all the way to White House, and it was wonderful. And I enjoy doing special paintings for dignitaries, a religious leader, or a great musician, or a writer, or a playwright, or actor, actresses. And you see, I'm a painter. I'm a teacher. I was a teacher, but now I retired. I retired from January 2000 and I think 2011, 2012, and this is 2013. So now I play piano.
You retired from teaching, but not from painting.
No. I still paint. Recently, I have written a book, and I came to Dallas City because I had heard that the people of Dallas City are very friendly and very generous and very loving and caring. So since last 2-3 weeks, I'm experiencing their love and care and all that, and would like to come back to Dallas someday. And
well, you're always welcome.
Yeah, oh, thank you. It's a wonderful city, wonderful people. Hardly you can find something like this anywhere else. And music has been very much a part of my soul. Can I talk something about my mystical experience?
Of course.
You know, this is a most true story. This is a true story. This was 1975, and I was living in Bedford, Ohio. Bedford, Ohio is a suburb of the Cleveland, Ohio. And one day in the morning, it must be about 4:30, and a very this big, a golden light. I saw a golden light. Someone woke me up. I was still in the bed, and in the background was a white wall of my apartment, my bedroom apartment. And that golden light spoke to me telepathically, and language was English, and said that at one point in time, I was a very famous musician in Germany. And they said, we have preserved your German house here in heaven. It is filled in with music, and after my death, they will take me back to my German house, which has a very grand piano, and then the light, the golden light, talked to me and said that we are going to take you back to music. And the feeling was so personal, so sincere.
Sounds like it. Very spiritual.
Yes, very. Why would anybody care to come from heaven without appointment or anything, you know? But an early morning, would wake me up and say, "Hi, hey you, I want to talk to you." And as it happens, I had to have 8 graduate units outside the painting to have a 96 graduate units to get MFA. So 8 units I took in music, and I made a presentation. This much music I know, this much I can play, this much I can talk. So they like it very much, and they encourage me, and they also gave me scholarship. They said, yeah, you are very good. So eventually after that I fell down, broke my fingers, and then took care of my fingers. I moved to Santa Clara. There was a San Jose State University there. I went and told my story that, look, I want to study music. They said, what do you do? I said, I'm an art instructor. So they said, come for interview. And about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they interviewed me. And they looked at my credentials and all that. They said, yeah, we would encourage you to study music. And then again, I started studying music. So if I want to go back to 1975, when that a golden light was burning fire.
Well, I don't think that was just only a golden light, because here we have proof of your recordings. Tell us about this.
Yeah.
It has become, it was a dream for you, but I think it has become a reality for the rest of us. Tell us about this.
The raga impressions, I'm an impressionist painter. And when I look at the keyboard of a piano, I think that why I cannot create a painting using the keys. Each key on a piano keyboard has a special color. I look at the entire keyboard like there are so many colors there. So striking a piano key in such a way so it should create impressionist brushstroke.
It's amazing.
So the basic idea is that can I do that? Can I be allowed to do that? And lots of musicians, my teachers, they say, yeah, it's very possible. And when you are doing that, it sounds also very acceptable, because you are still working within the classical discipline. So within the classical discipline of North Indian classical music, which is a Hindustani music, as you know, and then I get a tabla player. Tabla is a pair of drums, and we practice, and I try to create the entire mood, a raga mood as we call it. So the raga impressions, there is a complete presentation in a most traditional, most classical way. But then in some cases I'm running away and creating an impressionist feeling of raga. It shouldn't be very difficult to understand or enjoy. That's what I'm trying to do. Something very light. And that's the very much the way Claude Monet searched a light in a most lighter way.
Well, the cover is absolutely beautiful, and it is also one of your paintings.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Will you play one of your raga pieces for us?
Yeah, I would. I certainly would like to. Thank you. Thank you very much for asking me.
Is it something from the recordings that you will play?
Yeah, I would. I would like to. Let me tell you one thing that when I play very much in a traditional style, you know, our classical Indian music is very monophonic. At a time, you touch one note. Western classical music has appealed to me as a form of a compound sound, which we call polyphonic. Yeah. So sometime when I will do two small pieces for you and your audience. One will be a very traditional. I will try to play like a sarod. I'll try to create a sound like a sarod. The other piece which I will play in a raga Shivaranjani, which is my favorite raga. It's a basically pentatonic scale. And at that time, I create a very special romantic feeling. My work got very much influenced by Frédéric Chopin, Chopin, and Franz Liszt. Yeah, of course I like Schubert. I like Schumann. Now here is here. This is the way the entire thing stands in front of me. Here is a piano, which is my favorite instrument because I like the sound of piano. Number two, there is a discipline that I belong to. I'm a student of Hindustani music. The third thing, that during my study in the classroom and outside the classroom, I loved Frédéric Chopin's Trail. I'll do that a little bit for you. Remind me if I forget. And there is something which is not in our tradition, a heavy imposition on accent, as we call trail, the introduction of polyphonic system. So then I'm a student. I'm trying to create a totally a new music, totally new.
It's all unique. Yeah. Everything that I have heard of yours is totally unique.
Thank you very much.
I've never heard something so amazing like this, because there are many artists that record a specific style, but yours is totally unique.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your good comments, and as you know, a good comment always helps the artist. Bad comment can kill the artist. People get so much joy out of it. I kill him. Oh, man, stop killing, man. Stop. Help that poor guy or poor girl, you know. So we need a lot of encouragement. We need a lot of good things around us. So
great.
By the way, soft drink always helps me getting lost into my little world of art and music, and sometimes one can goes inside my system, and I feel like, oh my God, I'm on the 9th cloud. It could be even 10th cloud. Who knows?
Well, let's hear you play a little bit of that.
But I love. First, what I will do. First, I will play raga and I will talk a little bit, and then I will do the polyphony. I will do 2 small pieces for you. Okay. Thank you. Just the practice, okay? It's a very classical, traditional raga called Vrinda Banisarang. It's a noon raga, as we call noon melody, and I will be playing in a very traditional style, as we call instrumental solo.
play something in a very Western.
Yeah, polyphonic style.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. You see, Indian classical music, North Indian classical, that I'm a student of, I would like to do a special piece for you and your audience. And this will be in the raga Shivaranjani, which is basically a pentatonic scale. And I will do that with the filling of polyphony.
tremendous pleasure and honor to meet you, and I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you coming out for this interview.
I'm feeling very honored to be interviewed by you people, and I just don't know how to say thanks, but again, thanks a million.
No,
And
thanks to you. And
thank
it's been
you,
a pleasure
thank
and
you.
an honor.
Thank you
And
so
may you have a long life.
Thank you. Muchos gracias, señorita. Muchos gracias.
Gracias.